each worth at least $5 million. He continued on his way, but he couldn't shake off the feeling that something had changed for years. He felt like a failure. He bought private jets and traveled the world. Rico was a middle-aged man who had been working at a factory for 6 years, earning a meager $100 per month. He had two colleagues, Papi and Lawawa, who had grown accustomed to Rico's laid-back and friendly demeanor. However, Rico's online startup company had been struggling for years. He had invested all his time and money into it, but it just wasn't working out. This made Rico very frustrated and angry. He became mean to the people around him, including Papi and Lawawa, who were concerned about the change in their friend. "What's wrong with you, Rico?" Papi would ask. "You used to be so nice and relaxed." Rico just shook his head and muttered under his breath. He felt like a failure, and it was eating away at him. One day, Rico was walking down the street when he saw two old blind women trying to cross the road. Cars were zooming by and the women were scared. Rico felt something inside him change. He went over to help the women cross the road. As they thanked him, Rico felt a strange feeling. It was like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. He continued on his way, but he couldn't shake off the feeling that something had changed. When Rico got home, he checked his phone and saw a message from his bank. He had received $50,000. Rico was shocked. He did the math in his head. $50,000 was his salary for over 500 months, which would be 41 years of him working at his factory job. The alert read, "Congratulations, you have received $50,000 for helping the two old blind women cross the road. Your kindness has not gone unnoticed." Rico was amazed. He didn't know who could have sent him such a large amount of money. But then, Rico realized that this must have something to do with the two old blind women he helped earlier that day. Rico's next act of kindness was donating $10,000 to a local children's hospital. He had always been passionate about helping children, and he knew that this donation would make a big difference. Shortly after making the donation, Rico received another alert from the bank. He had received $50,000. The alert read, "Congratulations, you have received $50,000 for donating $10,000 to the local children's hospital. Your kindness to the two old women has inspired you to do more good deeds." Rico continued to perform acts of kindness, and each time he received $50,000 for them. He helped an old man carry his groceries up the stairs, volunteered at an animal shelter, gave a stranger a ride to the airport, cooked meals for a family who had lost their home in a fire, helped a single mother fix her car, visited the elderly at a nursing home, donated books to a local library, helped a lost child find her parents, and paid for the groceries of the person behind him in line. After each act of kindness, Rico received $50,000. He was amazed and grateful for the mysterious rewards. At some point, Rico decided to withdraw some of this money and make some tangible purchase, just to be sure that this wasn't a prank. And when he did, the money came out. And Rico discovered that this wasn't a prank. Somebody he doesn't know was actually watching him and rewarding him for being kind. As the rewards kept coming, Rico's wealth grew exponentially. No matter how little or insignificant Rico's act of kindness was, he received $50,000 for it. And before Rico knew it, he has accumulated over $2.3 billion in a very short period of time, all from being nice, helping people, and being kind. Rico's newfound wealth allowed him to live a life of luxury. He bought a private jet and traveled the world, visiting exotic destinations and experiencing different cultures. He owned a collection of luxurious cars, limited edition cars, each worth at least $5 million. He stayed in the most expensive hotels and ate at the finest restaurants. Rico enjoyed his life of luxury, but he always wondered, what was it with those two old blind women? Who were they? What is all this happening? Because he just enjoying his money, nobody was asking him any question. But he knew that those women had something to do with it. Rico wanted to find the two old blind women who had started it all. He searched everywhere for them, but they seemed to have vanished. Rico put up posters, asked around town, and even offered a reward, but no one knew where the women were. Months went by, and Rico continued to live his life of kindness, generosity, and luxury. One day, while driving his fancy car, Rico saw the two old women walking down the street. He immediately stopped the car and ran over to them. "Thank you for changing my life," Rico exclaimed. Rico explained to the women all that had been happening to him ever since the day he helped them, if they had a hand in it, and the women smiled and said, "All you need is a reason to change, and you will see the miracle of the impossible as your normal reality." Rico felt a sudden jolt and everything went blank. When he opened his eyes, he found himself back in his old life. He was lying in bed, and it was all just a long dream. Rico couldn't believe it. He had been so sure that it was all real, but as he thought about it, he realized that the dream had taught him a valuable lesson. Rico decided to apply the lessons he had learned from his dream to his real life. He started doing kind things for people, and although he didn't receive $50,000 every time, he felt happy and content, and his mood was lightened. Papi and Lawawa noticed the change in Rico and were amazed. "What happened to you, Rico?" Papi asked. You are so nice and friendly again." Rico just smiled and said, "All you need is a reason." Rico's newfound niceness and respect for people led him to meet new people and make new connections and friends. One day, while eating at a restaurant, he met someone who knew someone who was interested in buying his startup company that he has been working on for 6 years. Rico's startup company had been struggling for years, but now, thanks to his newfound connections, he had a chance to sell it. He negotiated the deal, and soon he received an offer to sell his startup company for $2.3 billion. Rico was overjoyed. He had never imagined that his dream would lead him to this point. He accepted the offer and sold his company. Interestingly, the amount he sold his company for, $2.3 billion, was the same amount he had accumulated in his dream from the mysterious 50,000 rewards he was getting. Rico couldn't help but feel that there was a deeper connection between his dream and his real life. With his newfound wealth, Rico started a foundation that helped people in need. He also wrote a book titled "All You Need Is a Reason" to document everything that has happened in his life, including his dreams. The book became a bestseller, and Rico's story inspired millions of people around the world. Rico's dream had changed his life, and now he was changing the lives of others. Rico's friend Papi and Lawawa were amazed at the transformation in Rico. "You are a completely different person," Lawawa said. Rico smiled and said, "All you need is a reason." And Rico lived the rest of his life with kindness, generosity, prosperity, and a sense of purpose.